Good morning, everyone. We'll start the lecture with regards to lecture 9 with regards to pricing of a service, right? And this will be, we will be having it for 2 hours. And I want you to know that this is the seventh ILO, and I have kept about 4 hours for this ILO to cover because it needs attention. And also, with regards to price for service, you need to look at in a very different angle, right? The angle is you need to be a practitioner of pricing. This is how marketers will look at pricing. Okay, you'll be having the theory, but you need to know what is exactly to practice, what is exactly you need to practice, right? So, with that, we are moving into the seventh ILO, pricing for service. At the end of the session, students should be able to evaluate the main approaches to pricing of service, recognize the usability of pricing approaches in service marketing perspective, evaluate revenue management techniques in service marketing. Now, I'll be referring to certain articles like INK dot articles where I have subscribed and a lot to learn. Rather than having a very traditional lecture, I prefer to have a lecture which has a very practical approach. So, with that, let's watch some videos, refresh our minds, and then we'll go into the lecture. Okay, just listen to this and watch this.
I was told last month I'd be flying the India sector. My maiden flight to India. There are a million questions in my mind. There are so many languages, so many cultures. It's such a massive country.
What is often served on this route would be a vegetarian alternative.
I mean, I'm excited, but I'm more nervous than excited.
महिला और सज्जनों नमस्कार। आप सबका इस उड़ान जो कि लंदन हीथ्रो से हैदराबाद के लिए रवाना होगी पर स्वागत है। आपसे निवेदन है अपने साथ लाया हुआ हाथ का सामान अपने सामने वाली कुर्सी के नीचे या अपने ऊपर वाली लॉकर में सुरक्षित रखें। धन्यवाद।
Oh, here, let me help you with this.
Thank you.
Crew prepare for takeoff. Doors to arm and cross-check.
Let me help you. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Are you okay?
Oh, you're crying. Has something happened? Is there a problem? Are you in any pain? I can...
I miss my son.
Look, we're not in the same position, but I really do understand. You know, when you miss someone, you miss someone. But look on the bright side. Think of your family back in Hyderabad. They miss you too. And I bet they're so excited to meet you. Yeah? Look, why don't we take your mind off things? Put on a good movie. Okay? Right, so let's pop these in. Right? What's this? Right. You can tell me which one. That one? Yeah? Yeah? Cool. There you go. Oh, And I'll get you a nice cup of tea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
When are you going back?
Oh, 2 days.
You have to come to my house.
Oh, no, I can't.
No, you have to come to my house. This is my
Oh, no,
son's
really.
car.
I can't come to your house.
Tomorrow is my festival day.
Oh, I can't.
You have to, please. Please come.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah. You have to come.
I never thought I'd go, but there was something in her smile, you know, that childlike persuasion, that I actually found myself going.
Oh, hi. You are Helena, right?
Oh, you know my name.
Oh, yes. Please come.
Oh, you came.
Yes, I'm
Harry.
You make it cold.
I got them.
You got it.
సరే అవన్నీ కనబడుతుంది ఏ పిల్లలు అక్కడ వెళ్ళండి
How it did? Delicious, yeah.
It's spicy for you.
It's okay. What's
Spicy.
is my favorite.
This home food for you. Don't eat hotel food. This is healthy food for you.
Thank you.
This is for you. And this is from me.
Thank you.
Take care.
I've been flying to India for 2 years now. It's a feeling I cannot describe. The more I discover, the more I fall in love.
Right. So it's a very touchy story with regards to British Airways is one of the best British Airways commercials. See, what I want to tell you is that this pricing thing, everything comes with a price. Every service comes with a price. But you can't buy love, happiness, best of health, life full of joy for money. So when you're pricing a product or a service, you need to think all of those. මට මේක මුලින්ම කියලා දුන්නේ මම සේල්ස් රෙප් කෙනෙක් විදිහට පටන් ගත්තත් කොකාකෝලා ආයතනයෙන් මම බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් මැනේජ්මන්ට් වලට ඇතුල් වෙන්නේ ජෙල් මොරිසන්ස් ආයතනයේ හරහා නිවියා බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එක තමයි මගේ බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එක මුලින් පළවෙනිම බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එක මට මේක මුලින්ම කියලා දුන්නේ මාකටිං ඩිරෙක්ටර් හිටපු මිස්ටර් ලැනරෝල් කියලා අති දැවැන්ත චරිතයක්. එතුමා මම හම්බෙන්න යනවා නිතරම. ඔහුට මුලින්ම කිව්වා ප්‍රයිස් එකක් හදනකොට ඕනම දෙයකට ඒකේ අභ්‍යන්තරයේ ඉන්නේ කස්ටමර් කෙනෙක්. එයාට ගැළපෙන විදිහට ඒක හදන්න ඕනේ. ඊළඟට මට හම්බ වෙනවා මගේ ජීවිතයේ ගොඩාක්ම ගරු කරන චරිතයක්. Mr. Ratnapala Samaraveera, chairman of Melbourne Biscuits. One day he held my hand and said, Hashan, you look at this Mari biscuit production line and you have to see a customer, a little kid eating this biscuit, right? Her parents, her family, relations, you should see them when you see this production line. So when you're costing or when you're doing a pricing, make sure that even though I don't get profits, make sure that you give the best taste at the best affordable price. මට ලාභයක් නැති වුණාට කමක් නැහැ පුතා. නමුත් පාරිභෝගිකයාට අවශ්‍ය කරන රස, ගුණය ඒ විදිහටම ලබලා දෙන්න. ගෝල් මාරියකින් මට ලාභයක් ගන්නයි කියලා මට කවදාවත් කියන්න එපා. බාල වර්ගයේ පිටි, බාල වර්ගයේ විටමින් මේකට දාන්න කියලා. මේ චෙයාමන් මට කියපු the exact words what he told me. මට කවදාවත් කියන්න එපා මගේ රෙසිපි එක වෙනස් කරන්න කියලා. මම කිසිම දායක බාල බඩුවක්, බාල මැටීරියල් එකක් මේ බිස්කට් එක ඇතුළට දාන්නේ නැහැ. මම කවමදාවත් කොයිම වෙලාවකවත් කොච්චර සබ්ස්ටිටියුට් මේ ලෝකෙ තිබුණත් මම ඒව ගෙන්නන්නේ නැහැ. මිල නෙමෙයි පුතා වැදගත් වෙන්නේ. පාරිභෝගිකයයි වැදගත් වෙන්නේ. මේක මගේ ඔළුවට මෙල්බන් චෙයාමන් මිස්ටර් ඒ.ජී. රත්නපාල සමරවීර මැතිතුමා මගේ මේක ඔළුවට අතුල් කරලා දිනේ ප්‍රයිසිං කියන එක මම වෙනස්ම විදිහකට දකින්න පටන් ගත්තා. That is exactly what British Airways is trying to communicate to you. මට හිතුණා මේ ප්‍රයිසිං කියන එක දිහා වෙන විදිහකට බලන්න. ඒ බලපු නිසා ඕනම දෙයක් ප්‍රයිස් කරනකොට මගේ මේ තියෙන අත්දැකීම හැටියට දැන් අවුරුදු 31ක අත්දැකීමක් එක්ක මම මේ කතා කරන්නේ. ඕනම ආයතනයක මගෙන් ඇහුවොත් ප්‍රයිසිං මැටර් එකක් ගැන. එහෙම නැත්නම් මම ඉන්වෝල්ව් වෙනවා ප්‍රයිසිං වලට. මං කියන්නේ ඉස්සෙල්ලම කන්සියුමර් දිහා ආදරෙන් බලන්න. මේ ආදරය වපුරන්න. මේ ආදරය වපුරන්න නම් ඒකට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මිලක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. නමුත් ඒ මිලත් ඔහුට ආදරය කරන්න ඕනේ. ආර්ථිකයේ කෙසේ තිබුණත් what happens to the economy is immaterial. If customers don't buy your product, you are out of business. So then you need to crack down quickly as to what is wrong with the marketing mix and adjust it according to the situation. So this pricing is not an academic thing. Pricing of a service or pricing of a product is not an academic thing. It's a very human thing. So I want everyone to look at pricing as a very human thing. මිල කියන එක මාකටර්ස්ලා දකින්න ඕනේ ආදරයෙන් පිරුණු ආදරයෙන් ශක්තිමත් වෙච්ච සහ ආදරය කැටි කරගත් භාණ්ඩයක් හෝ සේවාවක් පාරිභෝගිකයන්ට ලබා දෙනවා. ඒක නිසා මිල හරියට තියෙන්න ඕනේ කියන එක. පාරිභෝගිකයා මොන සෙග්මන්ට් එකේ වුණත් රිච් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, ඇවරේජ් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, එහෙම නැත්නම් below average වෙන්න පුළුවන්. You should not charge consumers unnecessarily. You should not trouble the consumer. You have to be affordable. And those products are in different markets, and in those markets the products has to be affordable. If the products are not affordable, then you won't be able to get business for you. So that's what British Airways is saying. The air hostess who was doing a very routine job meets a nice lady when she was traveling to India. To get her onto that plane, her son would have spent a lot. Her daughter-in-laws would have spent a lot. But she says, I misses my son. And why don't you come over? Have a meal with us. So British Airways taking a different angle from other airlines, and they're saying, fueled by love. So I'm taking a different angle to pricing. Today is the day that we are going to discuss about pricing of a service. Let's look at another video.
Of companies operating all over the world that claim to provide the best service. We've tried to establish a list of reliable courier businesses that have recently demonstrated their worth by providing excellent service to their customers. So let's check out top 10 courier companies in the world. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 10, YRC Worldwide. A.J. Harold established YRC Worldwide in 1942 with its headquarters in Overland Park, Kansas. Since then, it has advanced so much in terms of service that it is now considered one of the best courier services in the world. It specializes in transporting a wide range of products, including industrial, commercial, and retail items. In the early days of every business, tiny consignments were the norm, and YRC Worldwide was no exception. However, with time, the company grew to become a well-known and substantial courier service. Number 9, DTDC. Since its beginning in 1990, DTDC has left no stone unturned in proving its value of providing fast, satisfactory services. It is an Indian firm that has spread its wings all over the world. DTDC's global services are excellent. Its headquarters are in Bangalore, and it covers 10,000 PIN codes across the nation. It is estimated that it covers roughly 11 million consignments every month, making it India's largest domestic delivery network. It is one of India's most well-known and reliable courier companies, and it strives to enhance its service with each passing day. Number 8, Japan Post Group. The company was founded in the year 2007 when the Japan Post was privatized as a result of its enormous success. Today, the firm has grown into one of the most promising courier services, delivering and trading goods all over the world. It has expanded its service to many regions of the world, making it one of the most reliable courier service firms in recent years. The mail and packing delivery service provided by Japan Post Group is prompt, efficient, and of high quality. It is committed to reaching higher heights in the next years by offering top-notch customer service. Number 7, Schenker AG. This firm has risen to prominence in recent years as a result of its quick transportation of consignments to various regions of the globe. Its headquarters are in Berlin, Germany, and it has over 2,400 offices all over the world, which is quite an accomplishment in and of itself. Schenker AG has absorbed all other minor courier service companies when it comes to land transport for logistics delivery across Europe, with roughly 91,000 total workforces. It is one of the most recommendable firms due to its high-quality service and quick and easy working functions. Number 6, Aramex New Zealand. This courier service firm was founded in New Zealand in 1983. They are a low-cost mod that allows you to send your product to nearly any location in the world. They make use of the most up-to-date technologies and real-time track and trace facilities to enable their clients to keep track of where their packages are at any given time. This corporation is a reliable partner for any form of business that requires courier service. Number 5, Blue Dart. Blue Dart is the most well-known courier service in India, as well as the most popular domestic courier. Blue Dart is continually striving to be the best in the country and the world with its prompt and great services. DHL is a key stakeholder in Blue Dart, and as a result, its operating system has advanced recently. It has grown to become a prominent courier and integrated express package distribution firm in South Asia, with a long list of pleased and delighted clients. Blue Dart is doing an amazing job with its service in more than 220 nations and 33,739 locations. Number 4, Royal Mail. Royal Mail is a postal service in the United Kingdom that is controlled by the government. Although proposals to privatize it are in the works, it is expected that comprehensive privatization will take place shortly. Royal Mail is one of the oldest and most dependable courier service firms in the world, employing over 176,000 people. According to sources, the corporation used to send 84 million items every day, including letters, packages, mail, and other logistical consignments. The Royal Mail provides on-time delivery of consignments with super-fast services, making it one of the most popular courier services in the world. Number 3, United Parcel Service Incorporated. Working internationally, United Parcel Service, or UPS, is an American package delivery firm in Sandy Springs, Georgia. It was, however, created in 1907 in Seattle, United States of America. United Parcel Service, which employs a large number of people, is expected to deliver approximately 15 million items in a single day, making around 6.1 million consumers happy and satisfied. It now works in over 250 countries, making it one of the most trusted and dependable courier service companies in the world. Number 2, FedEx. FedEx, an abbreviation for Federal Express, is the most reputable and trustworthy courier service that comes to mind when it's about couriering any consignment, large or little. FedEx is a global courier delivery firm with headquarters in Memphis, Tennessee, United States. FedEx has grown its operations all over the world with efficient workers and quality service. It was formed in 1971, and it has since grown to become a top-notch corporation with great services. Number 1, DHL. It is part of the German logistics corporation Deutsche Post DHL. DHL Express, which was founded in 1969, has worked extremely hard and left no stone unturned in order to establish itself as one of the best courier services in the world. It has succeeded to establish itself as an indisputable market leader in the courier services area. So guys, that was it for this video. What did you think about our video? Let us know in the comment section below. If you are new to our channel,
Right. So if you look at these top 10 courier services or courier companies in the world, how can they dominate themselves across the globe? FedEx is there, DHL is there, everything is there in Sri Lanka as well. How come? How කොහොමද ඒගොල්ලෝ manage කරන්නේ? Now during the crisis like coronavirus, DHL never struggled. Right? DHL never struggled. FedEx never struggled. Hospitals never struggle at all. Right? කොහොමද එහෙම වෙන්නේ? එතකොට කොහොමද මේ pricing කියන factor එක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ? Right? ඒක තමයි අපි දැනගන්න ඕනේ මේ pricing කියන එක is a very strategic tool. You need to understand that pricing is a very strategic tool. Right? It's not belongs to accountants or finance people. That's a wrong concept. It's an absolute wrong concept. I have worked with many finance people. If the marketers don't know how to relate to pricing, if the marketers don't know how to relate to the product, now, before I step into this pricing lecture, I need to tell you this. You need to know about your 7 P's, right? You need to know exactly what the 7 P's are, right? If you don't know about your product, you can't do marketing. You can't do branding, you can't do service marketing. So you need to do research on what happens with others' products. You need to research on their recipes, which is being given to you. If it is a product, it's in the packaging. If it is a service, you have to go and seek. You need to get your marketing intelligence right, and you need to analyze how these people are working. If you're working for B2B, you need to know what other guy is doing with regards to their products entire line, right? And if you don't know your distribution, if you don't know where your products are being distributed or where your other competitors' products are being distributed, if you don't know, if you don't have any research content with you, well, you have a problem. You need to know what other people are advertising, in which slots they're advertising. You need to get around with media station. You need to build PR and you need to see how other people are performing. You need to have research in your hand. There are zillions of research organizations in Sri Lanka. SLIM has a research arm. LMRB has a research arm. They have data tracking. Individual radio stations have their own tracking. Individual TV stations have their own tracking. So you need to know. Pricing. You need to know from the raw materials to the final price. You need to know, not finance guys. That's why there is a finance guy. You need to get along with him. You need to ask him, how have you cost this? Can I know my pricing? Certain organizations treat pricing as a very confidential document. But if you are in the senior management, you'll get to know. Finance will disclose certain aspects which marketers should know. Then you know your pricing. Then you can assume, okay, this is what other guys must be doing. And you need to get along with procurement management, supply chain management. You need to ask from them where these products are coming from, where these raw materials are coming from. So you need to know your pricing. You need to know your competitor pricing. You need to know your people. You need to know your competitor people who are working for them. Are they professionals? What kind of careers they have? You need to know processes. This is my process, but is it the same with the competitor? And you need to know your physical evidence. When people come to your office has to be absolutely arranged. Now you as a marketing guy, you need to manage your 7 Ps. If you say, look, okay, it's finance job, it's my job, it's not my job, and this is bloody sales manager's job, and this is not my job, then you're not a marketing manager. You can't rise up to the level of general manager, sales and marketing, but you are only managing a fraction of it. And guys, if you are into marketing and sales and business management, you need to be an entrepreneur. If you're not an entrepreneur, then you don't know how to cost your product. The third element that I want to tell you is that you need to be a practitioner. You need to be out there serving. You need to be out there asking from people, are you buying my product? Are you buying my service? You can't make decisions buying in a AC room. Never. You can't do that. Roll your sleeves and get to the field. Know your pricing. Know your product. I have done it. And I'm successful. And that's what I'm saying. So this whole pricing thing, guys, you need to approach differently. You need to see that pricing as a strategic tool, not just a tool, not just a P. And you need to communicate that pricing. Now look what Daras is doing. The 11-11 campaign. How many of you have studied it? The 11-11 campaign. Go to their site and see how the prices has been dropped. Sri Lanka in the middle of economic slump. Daras is offering discounts after discounts. Odell, today is Friday, supposed to be Black Friday, where the prices is going to get slashed, 25% off. as per my intelligence. How come people drop their prices? What happens to the earlier cost? Right? What is this dropping of prices means? So pricing is a game changer tool. Pricing is a strategic tool. Right? Just because he has a product for 1,000 rupees, I can't benchmark my product as 1,000 rupees. If it is a me too, like Mari to Mari, yeah, it can go on the same price. But if you're adding value to the product, if you're adding value to the product, then you can't have the same price. Right. So, yeah. So let's go to our lecture, which is going to be absolutely interesting today. Right. And I'm going to take you through this INC, How to Price Business Services, the article that I read a couple of months ago when I was preparing for my lecture for you, right? And let's take some slides. I did some slides from it because it was easy for you all to fathom and then take it to your head, right? So we'll go step by step and we'll see how to price business services, advice for small business on how to manage pricing strategies by calculating costs, right? Considering different pricing models and evaluating customer and competitor behavior. So what I told you, it's all here in the INC dot, right? So let's go to the lecture and see. These are certain, I can straight away go to INC and relate to you, and I should do that because I took these learnings from the INC itself. So let me take you to INC page, right? Which you're going to love it because as a marketer, you need to read these kind of articles, right? So let's go to INC. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So what INC is saying is that the reason you went into business selling services to customer was to make a profit. Their first line says the objective. So that's what I'm saying, that this pricing is a very strategic tool. Make profits. How to make a profit? Take love into it. ආදරය කියන එක ගන්න උපයෝගී කරගන්න pricing කරද්දී. Right? ආදරෙන් බලන්න. එතකොට profit එක ඉබේම හැදෙනවා. If you were giving away your services for less than cost, just break even, you'll be operating a non-profit venture or a business that likely to fail. See, ඔයාට ලාභයක් නැතුව ඔයා දෙයක් ඔපරේට් කරනවා නම් ඒක non-profit venture එකක්. right? දැන් ඔය ගොඩාක් අය පටලව ගන්නවා මේ CSR කියන concept එක. like corporate social responsibility කියන project එක පටලවගෙන තියෙනවා වැරදි concept එකකට. දැන් corporate social responsibility කියන්නේ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම it has to be a very paid thing. Now for example, අපි හිතමුකෝ මෙහෙම අපි තීරණය කරනවා motorcycle 100ක් කෙනෙකුට ලබා දෙන්න. organization එකකට ලබා දෙන්න. අපි හිතමුකෝ තැපැල් කම්තෝරුවට කියලා. So then it has to go through a proper process where someone has to buy those motorcycles at a discounted price and then give it to that people. So that's a CSR. We discounted our product and we facilitate the postal workers to perform their duties. Now, if you give something free, bearing the cost, right? Cost එක කියන්නේ අපේ selling price එකට එන්න කලින් තියෙන එක. Then it's a donation. So donation cannot be a CSR. Corporate social responsibility has to be paid. It has to be paid CSR. If not, it's not a CSR. මොකද නැත්තම් වෙන්නේ ඔයා දිගින් දිගටම මේක දෙනවා ඔයාගේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් ඔයාගේ බජට් එක යන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. මොකද ඔයා දෙන්නේ නිකන්. But if you are in business, you need to make profit. That's what INC is saying, right? But one of the most important decisions you need to make to determine whether you turn a profit or not is how to price your service, right? Is to how to price your service. Businesses can range from a sole proprietorship consultancy to mid-sized business with several hundred employees, some of whom go out of customers and perform anything from cleaning homes to providing information technology expertise to large corporations. Get your pricing strategy for these services wrong and you will create a problem you may never overcome. Get it right, and you will dramatically increase the likelihood of creating a business that perseveres and take care of your financially, right? So, pricing your service. The good news is you have a great deal of flexibility in how you set your price. You have a great deal of flexibility, right? Product right? The bad news is there is no surefire formula based approach you can pull off the shelf and apply in your business. Pricing services is more difficult than pricing products because you can often pinpoint the cost of making a physical product, but it's more subjective to calculate the worth of your counsel, your staff's expertise, and the value of your time. මෙන්න මේක තමයි මට මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කිව්වේ service එක when you're basically what do you call it? Pricing a service, right? Service එක price කරන්න කලින් factors ගොඩාක් ඔයාලා product එකක් price කරනවට වඩා වෙනස් service එකක් price කරන්න. මොකද මෙන්න මේ ටික to calculate the worth of your counsel. මගේ involvement එක අපි ගමුකෝ SLTC එක. SLTC එකේ product එකක් price කරද්දී මම CEO නම් මගේ cost එක කෝ ඒක ඇතුලේ දාන්න පුළුවන්ද එහෙම? Then making no staff, there are PhD holders. ඒ ඔක්කොගෙම cost එක ඒක ඇතුලට දාන්න පුළුවන්ද? Your staff expertise and the value of your time. ප්‍රෙසිඩන්ට්ගේ time එක මේක ඇතුලට දාන්න පුළුවන්ද? අමාරුයි. Bit difficult. That is why pricing your service is absolutely key. You can, however, use some of the same underlying pricing guidelines to figure out your cost and operating expenses plus your target profit in setting your price for service. මම හිතන්නේ මේ terms ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා දැන් වෙනකොට. Right. දැන් අපි යනවා ඊළඟට factors to consider in pricing. When pricing services, there is a bit more leeway than pricing products. The price of a product is more objective. The price of a service is more subjective, so that there is gray area. Toftoy says, pricing is both an art and a science. Right, here are the factors that experts say you should consider when trying to determine what price to charge for a service. Right, දැන් හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. මේ pricing කියන එක තමයි වෙන අර්ථකථනයක් දෙන්නේ. Right? මේ pricing කියන එක both art and a science. Pricing has to have love in it. Pricing has to have life in it. Pricing has to have smile in it. Pricing has to have happiness in it. දැන් මේක තමයි පිටරට policy එක. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කියන්න පුළුවන් වැටෙන economy එකක කොහොමද සර් hina වෙවි price කරන්න කියලා. hinaව දෙන්නේ කොහොමද pricing එකෙන් කියලා. Strategies තියෙනවා. කරන්නේ නැහැ. Right. ඊට පස්සේ අපි blame කරන ආණ්ඩුවට නෑ. ආණ්ඩුවට blame කරලා වැඩක් නැහැ. There are many economies in the world that the cost of living has gone through the roof. So you can't blame the government. It's not the government problem because you started the business. You are in it on your own. You have your products. You created the products. So then why can't you do the pricing? If the taxes are increasing, you need to reduce certain things and give that benefit back to the consumer. So here are some fundamental topics where you can determine when you're doing pricing, right? So the first one is cost plus pricing. This standard method of pricing in business seeks to first determine the cost of making product, or in this case providing a service, and then add an additional amount to represent the desired profit. So ඉස්සෙල්ලා cost එක determine කරනවා, ඊට පස්සේ percentage එකක් add කරනවා, ඔයාගේ price එක හදා ගන්න, right? With the cost plus approach, the thing to remember is that if you are paying someone, say, $11 an hour, you may think you should charge $11 an hour for the service they provide, but you have to factor in all your cost, says Jerome Austrian, a professor of finance at Florida State University and outreach director of Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship. Those costs include a portion of your rent, utilities, administrative costs, and other general overheads. When I make a deal to sell a service, he says, I have to make sure to cover all my costs. එතකොට ඔයාගේ cost එක cover කරලා තමයි price එක හදන්න ඕනේ. Right? So that's cost plus, right? So let it get it. The standard method of pricing in business seeks to first determine the cost of making a product. එතකොට cost එක හදනවා, cost එකට කැලලක් add කරනවා, ඔයාගේ profit එක gain කරනවා. Cost plus pricing. Competitors pricing. You need to be aware of what competitors are charging for similar services in the marketplace. Austrian says. ඔයා දැනගන්න ඕනේ ඔයාගේ product එක competitor ගාව කොහොමද තියෙන්නේ කියලා. දැන් ඕගොල්ලන්ට කතා කරා micro electronics German. එතකොට ඕගොල්ලන්ට කලින් මම කිව්වා. එතකොට ඕගොල්ලෝ රිසර්ච් එකක් කරලා බලන්න තිබ්බා මෙයා ඔපරේට් වෙන බිස්නස් එක මොකක්ද කියන එක. එයා ගාව තියෙනවා ප්‍රොඩක්ට් 100ක් විතර. එයාගේ කම්පියුටර් ගාවක් තියෙනවා 100ක් විතර. එතකොට මේ ප්‍රයිසිං කොහොමද කරන්නේ? දැන් ඒ වගේ ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකක අපිට එකින් එක බලන්න හෝල්ඩර් එක කීයද, ස්විච් එක කීයද, ඩබල් ස්විච් එක කීයද, ට්‍රිපල් ස්විච් එක කීයද, කලර්ස්ද කම්පියුටර් ගාව එක තියෙනවද? එහෙනම් මේ ප්‍රයිසිං සෙට් එක කරන්න. So that's competitors' pricing, right? This information could come from competitors' website, phone calls, talking to friends and associates who have used computer services, published data, etc. So you need to go to literature and see how competitors are pricing it, or you need to go to the market and check how competitors are doing, right? Perceived value to the customer. This is where a lot of the subjectivity comes in when setting a price for a service. This is where a lot of the subjectivity comes in when setting a price for a service. When you have a product, you may decide to use keystone pricing, which generally takes the wholesale cost and double it to come up with a pricing to charge, right? Pricing to charge and account for your profit. With a service, you can't necessarily do that. To your customer, the important factor in determining how much they are willing to pay for a service may not be how much time you spend providing the services, but ultimately what the perceived value of the service and your expertise is to them, Austrians say. So that is where pricing becomes more of an art. Right? Perceived value to the customer. This is where a lot of the subjectivity comes in when setting a price for a service. When you have a product, you may decide to use keystone pricing, which generally takes the wholesale cost and double it. ඒක කරන්න බෑ service එකක් කරලා. With a service, you can't do that. You can't necessarily do that. To your customer, the important factor in determining how much they are willing to pay for a service may not be how much time you spend providing the service, but ultimately what the perceived value of that service and your expertise is to them, Austrian says. Then, මම කියනවා ඕකේ මම මෙච්චරක් කාලය වැය කරනවා ඒක නිසා මේක මේ විතර නෑ. ඒක නෙමෙයි. කස්ටමර් කොහොමද මේ සර්විස් එක දකින්නේ? එතකොට අපි කස්ටමර් සර්විස් කරලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඔයා කියන්න මම මොකද දාන්න ප්‍රයිස් එක මේකට. perceived value to the customer. Right? අපි customer service එකක් කරලා බලන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි determine කරනවා මේක දැකපු ගමන් මේ වගේ cost එකක් තමයි එන්නේ. Right? මේ වගේ price එකක් තමයි දෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. මම මේ කියන්නේ practical පැත්තෙන්. Right? So that's perceived value to the customer. Right? Calculating your cost අන්න ඊළඟ එක. Before you set a price for the service your company will provide, you need to understand your cost of providing these services to the customer. Now this is where you and finance guy get together. The US Small Business Administration advised that the cost of providing a service is made up following 3 points, 3 parts, right? Palaveni එක material cost. These are the cost of goods you use in providing the services. Very simple. Material cost එක ඔයා මේ service එක දෙන්න නම් ඔයා මොනවද පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ? A cleaning business would need to factor in cost of paper towels, cleaning solutions, rubber gloves and etc. An auto repair business would tally up to cost of supplies such as brake pads or spark plugs which have been installed by the service people. Garage එක වෙන්නේ ඒකනේ. Right? The material cost එක ඔයා cost කරන්න ඕනේ. Right? ඔයා දැනගන්න ඕනේ කොතනටද ඒක ගේන්නේ කියන එක. Right? Labor cost. This is the cost of direct labor you hire to provide a service. එතකොට ඔයාගේ ගාව වැඩ කරන මිනිස්සුන්ටත් ඒ cost එක add කරන්න ඕනේ. Overhead costs. These are the indirect costs to your business in providing service to customers. එතකොට ඔයා tuition පන්තියක් run කරනවා නම් ඔයා institute එකක් run කරනවා indirect costs මොනවද? Right? Other overhead costs include your monthly rent, taxes, insurances, depreciations, advertising, office supplies, utilities, mileage, etc. Right? එතකොට මෙන්න මේවා ටික ඔයාට add වෙන්න ඕනේ. Determining a fair profit margin. Once you determine your costs, you need to mark up your services to ensure that you achieve a profit for your business. This is a delicate balance. You want to ensure that you achieve a desired profit margin, but at the same time, particularly in down economy, you want to make sure that your business doesn't get a reputation for overcharging for services. You need to have a very fair profit margin. This is where love comes in. Fair, right? Love, smile comes in. Right? So determining a fair profit margin. Okay, different pricing methods. Before that, let's get into a very nice commercial. What you saw, it's the Ritz-Carlton, Millennia, Singapore. Right, I have been to Ritz-Carlton. It's one of the best hotels in the world. The service was absolutely brilliant. Right now, you can imagine what I'm talking about as price. Right? You can imagine. So that's Ritz-Carlton's experience, right? So let's go back. Different pricing models. Now that you have understood what it costs you to provide a service, they will dakin nati super class hotel lekaka. I mean, it's one what do you call the materials, the atmosphere, the ambience to create that. Yeah, you have to have some kind of investments going into it, expenditure is incurred, right? So you need to price it properly, you need to price it very up. Ritz Carlton, well, people associate the hierarchy, hierarchical people go and dine and wine in that hotel. ඒක නිකන් මේ අහක තියෙන හොටෙල් එකක් නෙමෙයි. It's not for backpackers, it's for very higher end tourists targeted, right? So that's Ritz-Carlton. So now that you understood what your competitor is charging and how customers perceive the value of your service, it's time to figure out whether to charge an hourly rate, a per project rate, or try to negotiate a retainer for your services. This way, predetermined by your industry and the type of services pricing that predominate in the sector. For example, lawyers tend to charge hourly rate for their services, although those rates can vary. Many construction firms charge a project fee and require that 1/3 be paid up front, another third be paid at the halfway point, and the remaining third be paid upon completion. Now, if you look at yesterday, right, a DJ played a super evening, not a single mistake, and we couldn't even stop him because he was that good. Now we need to pay his price because that doesn't come free. Right, now it's a service being given for your pleasure, right? එතකොට එයා අපිට කිව්වේ පැය 3ට මෙන්න මේ ගාන ගෙවන්න. Charge by hour, right? So that's another way of looking at it. Here are some benefits and risks associated with the following pricing models. Okay, let's see. Charging an hourly rate. For many businesses, pricing services on an hourly rate is preferred. This ensures that you are achieving a rate of return on the actual time and labor you invest in servicing each customer. Hourly rates are often used when you are pricing your own consulting services instead of pricing a service that use labor and material from others. Then, ගොඩක් අය charging hourly rate එක ඔයා වාගේ තනි business එකක් ඉදිරියට යන්න බෑ tuition class එකක් කරන්න යනවා නම් පැයකට charge කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? Your rate should be determined by your amount of expertise and seniority. A more senior consultant will generally be paid a higher hourly rate than a less experienced or a junior consultant. Charging a flat rate. In tough economic times, many businesses are concerned about keeping costs down and may agree to hire your business for services only on a fixed rate or flat basis. Customers want a fixed rate. Austrian says. Entrepreneurs want an hourly rate. It's a question of who is going to bear the risk. If I charge a flat rate, I'm bearing the risk. If a project takes longer than expected to complete, you may risk losing money on the client, right? If you have a customer that is insist on flat fee, you may want to see if they are amenable to putting a cap on the number of hours involved in project, or agreed to pay additional fee if the project runs over the time. Okay, so that's charging a flat rate. Variable pricing. In addition to determine a fair price for your services, you have to determine whether you will practice a fixed price policy and charge all your customers the same amount, or whether you want to institute variable pricing in which bargaining and negotiation help to set the price for each customer. So you vary the price, right? Customer අනුව vary කරනවා price එක. ඒතර ඒකත් discuss කරලා බලන්න ඕනේ. So we have three strategies, right? එකක් තමයි charging an hourly rate, පැය ගානට සල්ලි ගන්නවා. නැත්නම් flat rate එකක් determine කරනවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් variable pricing. Aට මේ price එක, Bට මේ price එක, Cට මේ price එක කියලා අපි determine කරනවා. Right. Monitoring and changing your price. In a service business, your biggest costs are usually your people cost. මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කියවනේ. Service එකක people centered ගොඩක් වෙලා labor intensive. Salaries, benefits and etc. If you are having a hard time selling services at an acceptable profit, the problem may be that your employee costs are too high rather than the price is too low. You may want to also reevaluate your overheads costs to determine whether there are other cuts you can make to bring your price down and your profit margin up. Look at your expenses and see where you can cut top-tier advices. Right. So this is kind of a monitoring that you should do. Right. Right. Now we are coming to a place where whether to raise the prices or not to raise the prices. Huh? So let's go to another video with regards to service example.
In 1971, Shangri-La pioneered a new kind of hotel experience with the simple philosophy, service from the heart. Our monogram, inspired by mystical mountains reflected in tranquil waters, symbolizes the personal sanctuary we seek to create for you, our guests. As we turn 50, we continue to grow and evolve, inspired by your desire to explore, dream, and discover. And as our journey continues, we are excited to introduce our evolved brand logo that celebrates the past and defines a vision for the future. Our monogram takes on a golden hue that evokes the warm glow of sunrise. The refined typeface takes inspiration from Asian calligraphy, a subtle but purposeful gesture that renews our promise to you, to create more moments of joy and make your Shangri-La come true. In 1971, Shangri-La pioneered a new kind of hotel experience with the simple philosophy, service from the heart. Our monogram, inspired by mystical mountains reflected in tranquil waters, symbolizes the personal sanctuary we seek to create for you, our guests. As we turn 50, we continue to grow and evolve, inspired by your desire to explore, dream, and discover. And as our journey continues, we are excited to introduce our evolved brand logo that celebrates the past and defines a vision for the future. Our monogram takes on a golden hue that evokes the warm glow of sunrise. The refined typeface takes inspiration from Asian calligraphy, a subtle but purposeful gesture that renews our promise to you, to create more moments of joy and make your Shangri-La come true.
Right. So how come Shangri-La? Right. Imagine one of the world's best hotels. I mean, it's awesome. You guys should go to Shangri-La and see how um, how it treats you. Shangri-La is a very imaginary location where you can get your life to perfection. And they say an imaginary beautiful place often far away where everything is pleasant and you can get everything you want. And we say PETA is a Shangri-La of all products, right? New York is shoppers Shangri-La. So you get everything. Imagine you get it. Right? You have saris to sweets to electronic products to whatever. It's available in the central PETA. So PETA is the Shangri-La of your of a shopper. Now, how come Shangri-La maintain their quality? Price is the factor, right? Be wise about raising your prices. Now, economy like this, raising prices, oh my goodness, yes, it can happen. It's a fact of life that you will have to raise prices from time to time as a part of managing your business prudently. Now, these ink dot articles are well written, guys. That is why I've thought of taking a different turn today and introduce a different style of lecturing rather than going into these same old presentation slides and telling you about the demand and supply and the cost and all that. It's no point rather than you getting the concept and applying it. So be wise about raising your price. It's a fact of life that you need to raise prices every now and then, but you need to run your business prudently for your business prudently. If you never raise your price, you won't in business for long. ඔබ price එක ඉහළ දාලා නැත්නම් ගොඩ කාලයකට වෙනකන් ඔයාලට business එකේ ඉන්න බෑ. You have to constantly monitor your price and your costs so that you are both competitive in the market and that you make the kind of money you deserve to make in your business. ඔබ දිගටම මොනිටර් කරගෙන යන්න ඕනේ price එක. ඔයාගේ price එක, cost එක, raw material prices කොහොමද මේක හදන්නේ? labor කොච්චරක් යනවද? raw materials කොච්චරක් යනවද? electricity කොච්චරක් යනවද? එතන මේකෙන් එළියට එන ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක මෙච්චරක් රුපියල් 1000යි නම් මම රුපියල් 200ක ලාභයක් තියාගෙන විකුණනවා. ඒතර අරකට ඕවර්හෙඩ්ස් ටික දාලා ඉවරයි. ඒතර තව ඕවර්හෙඩ්ස් වගේක් එන්න තියෙනවා. ඒකත් මේකෙන් ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? මේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක ස්ටාර් ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක්ද? question mark එකක්ද? කොහොමද ගන්නෙ? So you need to watch your product before you raise the price. You can price too high and sell yourself out. Tolstoy says people don't forget that they felt like you gauge them for a quality of service that you're selling. Right? Here are some guidelines for when and how to raise prices. Now, this is what I said. Price is a very strategic tool. Do raise prices when your competitors are raising prices, obviously. Competitors price වැඩි කරගන්න. Do raise prices if your customer says you're a bargain. If your customers start commenting about what a great value your services are, that may be an indication you're charging too low a price. Right? Do raise prices if your customers saying you are a bargain. If your customers start commenting about what a great value your services are, that may be an indication you're charging too low a price. Right? Don't raise prices too much all at once. දැන් ඔය මිල සූත්‍රයක් කියලා දෙන්නේ. Right? බලන්න හොඳට බලන්න උඩට පොඩ දාලා ආයි පල්ලයට දාන්න. ආයි උඩට දාගෙන එකපාර ඩෝන් ගාලා ගන්නේ නැහැ. පොඩ යන්නේ. Right? Right? In a tough economy, a big jump in price might be too much of a jolt for your customers. Instead, raise the price in a small increments of 2 or 3 price increase over the course of a year. දැන් අපේ වෙන්නේ එක ගෑස් එකට වෙන්නේ එක පෙට්‍රල් එකට වෙන්නේ එක පොඩ්ඩ වැඩි කරනවා අඩු කරනවා චුට්ටක් ආයි වැඩි කරනවා. That is how you manage pricing. දැන් මේක මේ සාමාන්‍ය කෙනාට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක කරන කෙනාට තමයි තේරෙන්නේ. දැන් ලෝක වෙළඳ පොලේ ගෑස් අඩු වුණා නම් අපේ අඩු වෙන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් මේ දවස්වල ගෑස් වැඩි වුණේ ඇයි? Now that's a good question. Right. ඒක හොයලා බලන්න. අද ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ assignment එකට මම දෙන්නේ ඒක. අපේ මේ ළඟදී ගෑස් හයික් එකක් ආවා දැන් සතියකට කලින්. ඇයි ඒක වැඩි වුණේ? ඒක හොයලා බලන්න ඕන. Right. Don't raise prices across the board. To be discreet, customers may not notice price increases if they are only for certain services and not for others. Austin recalls speaking with a dentist who recently raised prices on filling but not cleaning, a strategy that brought no customer complaints. You need to raise prices in today's economy where you think your customers can't see there has been an increase, he says. Right? හිමින් වැඩි කරගන්න ඕනේ. The bottom line is you owe it to yourself and to your business to be relentless in managing your pricing strategy. Remember, how you set the price of the service you sell could be different between the success or failure of your business. Right. Let me see whether I can get you. Yeah. Okay. So let's watch another video and then we'll come back.
5-minute class. I'm Jennifer Croft and I'll be teaching you how to price your services. If you like this class, we have a bunch of other classes and free resources available at www.5minuteclasses.com. So before we actually get into how to price, let's talk about some of the reasons it's important to price correctly. And this is because pricing can have a huge impact on not only your bottom line, but also whether your business even survives the first year or not. And if you come in too low with pricing, you're going to really pretty soon feel very overworked and underpaid. And if you come in too high, you're going to find that you don't have enough clients or customers. So get it right from the beginning, not exactly, but at least be in the general area, because it can be hard to adjust it later. So we need to find the sweet spot, and that sweet spot exists somewhere between the floor and the ceiling. And the floor is your cost of goods, and the ceiling is whatever the market will bear. Now, cost of goods is pretty apparent when you have products, but people sometimes think that they don't have an actual cost of goods with their services, but you do. Your time is worth something, and if you had to have someone come in and substitute for you, you would need to pay them. So for example, if you were a massage therapist and you needed to have someone do the work for you, what would you pay that massage therapist to come in and do your work? That would be your cost of goods. So somewhere you'll want to set your pricing between that floor and that ceiling. Now I've come up with some general market positions that you could be. I've designed 9 of these. This isn't a magic number, but it at least starts to narrow down and help you start to think about where you would position yourself in the marketplace. And so all of these on this list are okay to be, with the exceptions of the 2 that I have crossed out. Now, yes, you could be low price, high quality, but when I've seen small business owners try to run a business this way, they usually don't make enough money. I mean, by saying I'm low price, but I'm going to provide this phenomenal quality, essentially you're subsidizing every single order. On the other hand, unless you're a monopoly, like the old phone company or current cable providers, it's going to be a little bit hard to have high prices and low quality. If the market has a choice, they are not going to elect over and over again to get ripped off. So that's not a good position to be. So finding the sweet spot after you've chosen your general market position, you'll now want to find pricing for your specific services, and these are some of the different ways you could approach that, which is you can charge by the hour. You could charge a fixed rate for a job or project, and this actually is really good. I like fixed rate because it benefits you in that you might be able to make a higher hourly rate, and it benefits the client in that they know how much the project is going to cost. They didn't just write this blank check. And then another good way to approach it is by estimating a range for a job or project. And with this, you would tell someone, hey, I think it's going to cost between 300 and 500, or I think it's going to take between 10 and 12 hours. And this helps because it means that you don't have to eat it if things take longer than you thought. And on the other hand, you don't have to bid everything really high so that you make sure that you do have all your bases covered. And another good way to approach pricing is with a contract rate or monthly retainer. So when it comes to pricing and how much you're going to be able to charge, these are some of the things that impact that is really the uniqueness of what you offer and the quality of it. And before you set your pricing, I want you to step back for a minute and understand that it's probably only going to be realistic that you'll be able to bill 20 hours per week at the most. And so you need to set an hourly rate that's high enough that if you can only bill 20 hours, you'll still make the amount of money that you need to at the end of the month. And why is this? Why do I use this magic number of 20, which it's not a magic number, it's just an estimate, but it's because there's a lot of time that no one pays for in a business. And these are both hours that relate directly to servicing your customers or clients or working on jobs. And there's also a whole slew of hours that I don't even have on this slide that relate to actually running the business, the marketing that you have to do, the operations, just the accounting, all the tasks that you as a small business owner have to do. So one last thought to leave you with is don't be afraid to charge what you're worth. And in this example that I bring up, if you raise prices by 20%, you could lose a fifth of your clients and still bring in the same amount of money for a lot less work. So don't be afraid to increase prices if it's time, and the market will bear it. So here are some next steps you can take that relate to this class, and here's some worksheets you can use.
Right, so that's a little a video to show how or reinforce of what I was talking about with regards to INC paper, um, and you can go on reading it. Other than that, well, that's the total idea I have to give. So you need to enjoy what is pricing is. නැත්නම් නිකන් බොරුවට මේක මේ accountant රස්සාවක් කියලා හිතාගෙන ඉන්න එපා. Because pricing is not an accountant's job or a finance person's job. The job is belongs to you. Accountants and finance oriented people will help you to determine the actual focused cost structure. ගොඩාක් අයට මේක පැටලෙනවා. මේ ගොඩාක් අය finance එකත් එක්ක ගිහිල්ලා හැප්පෙනවා. මේ finance එකේ මේක කරලා දෙන්නේ. ෆයිනෑන්ස් කියන එක මාකටර්ස්ලා දකින්න ඕනේ ස්ට්‍රැටජික් ටූල් එකක් විදිහට. accountants කියන එක මාකටර්ස්ලා දකින්න ඕනේ මාකටර්ස්ලා නෙමෙයි ඕනම කෙනෙක් දකින්න ඕනේ ස්ට්‍රැටජික් ටූල් එකක් විදිහට. right. ඒ ස්ට්‍රැටජික් ටූල් එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඔයා දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ. ඔයා ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඔයාගේ cost එක දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ. ඔයා පොඩ්ඩක් කොලේක ලියලා බලන්න ඕනේ මේක රන් කරනවා නම් මම කොච්චරක් ඉන්කම් වෙනවද? මම එහෙනම් 10%ක ප්‍රොෆිට් එකක් තියනවද? මම කොහොමද රෙන්ට් එක ගෙවන්නේ? මම කොහොමද ඉලෙක්ට්‍රිසිටි බිල් එක ගෙවන්නේ? ඔයා රන් කරන if you're entrepreneur. ඔයා කම්පැනි එකක මාකටිං මැනේජර් කෙනෙක් හෝ බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එක්සිකියුටිව් කෙනෙක් විදිහට වැඩ කරනවා නම් නිකන් කමර්ෂල් එකක් ගහලා පෝස්ටර් එකක් ගහලා ලීෆ්ලට් එකක් ගහලා කියන්න බෑ මම බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එක්සිකියුටිව් කියලා. right ඔයා නිකන් ඔය ඉන්න ගමන් ඔය සේල්ස් ෆෝස් එකත් එක්ක අරයට මෙයාට කියනවනේ මේ ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකෙන් අපි ලෙඩ දානවා ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකෙන් මේ අපිට මේක කරන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ අරක කරන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ මේ ප්‍රයිස් වැඩි කරනවා right අපිට මේ ලයින් එකේ ප්‍රයිසිං එක වැඩි කරන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ අර ලයින් එකේ ප්‍රයිස් එක හොඳටම වැඩි කරන්නේ ඇයි වැඩි කරන්න කියන්නේ ඇයි ප්‍රයිස් එක වැඩි කරන්න කියන්නේ ඔයා සර්විස් මේකක වැඩ කරනවා නම් එහෙනම් ඒකට යන ඇඳ දැන් අපි තුමු හොස්පිටල් එකේ වැඩ කරනවා කියලා බෙහෙත් වලට යනවා බෙඩ් ෂීට්ස් වලට යනවා පොරොන රෙදි වලට යනවා තොප්පි වලට යනවා අරකට යනවා මේකට යනවා ඔක්කොම යනවා වියදම. ඒතර ඒ වියදම කවුද දරන්නේ? කස්ටමර්ස්ලාගේ එන්න ඕනේ ඇතුළට. ඒතර මාකටිං එකෙන් කරන්න ඕනේ ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා කොස්ට් රීස්ට්‍රක්චර් කරනවද? එහෙම නැත්නම් කොස්ට් එක ඩිටර්මින් කරනවද? right right ඒ වගේ තීරණ වලට එන්න ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ඒක කරන්න ඕනේ. නැතුව අපිට ගිහිල්ලා බෑ එන්නේ බොරුවට ගිහිල්ලා මේ අරයට බයින්න මෙයාට බයින්න. අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මම රෙකමෙන්ඩ් කරනවා මාකටර්ස්ලට CIMA කරන්න කියලා. මාකටර්ස්ලට අඩුම තරමේ ඩබල් AT එකක් හරි කරන්න කියලා. එහෙම නැත්නම් ක්‍රෑෂ් කෝස් එකක් හරි කරන්න කියලා accounting and finance. නිකන් බොරුවට ෆයිනෑන්ස් accountants අත් එක්ක හැප්පෙන්න එපා. Right? ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ view point එකෙන් ඕක ඔයා දකින්න ඕනේ. So marketers has to be finance oriented and finance has to be marketing oriented. When this synergy happens, right, you can price your service, right? Okay, so let's see another video, a very interesting one. Let's see.
Revenue management is fundamental to owning and operating a profitable hotel. The most successful hoteliers are those who continually look for ways to improve and streamline their cash flow, gaining an edge over the competition. Revenue management, in a nutshell, is the strategic pricing and distribution tactics you use to sell your inventory to boost your revenue growth. For example, selling to the right guests at the right time for the right price. This isn't just limited to your rooms, however. Other amenities such as food and drinks come into the picture. One aspect of revenue management is pricing strategies. These will help set you up for success in the future. 3 common pricing strategies are dynamic pricing, which involves changing your room rates daily based on real-time market data, such as competitor prices, supply, and demand. Open pricing, where you set your prices at different levels depending on their target markets. For example, a luxury hotel may drop their prices in the off-season for guests who may not be able to afford their accommodation normally. Length of stay pricing, when guests are obligated to stay a minimum number of days. This is usually used when demand outweighs supply. Bear in mind, no pricing strategy is going to be perfect for any hotel. Since every hotel is different, each pricing strategy you use will have varied strengths and weaknesses. A pricing strategy that works well for large-scale luxury chains may not work as well for a smaller boutique hotel. If you'd like to see other pricing strategies you can use, as well as download our free revenue management ebook, check out our full blog post linked below. When you're producing your pricing forecast, take into account factors from last year as well as the upcoming year. Look at the following for things to track. Revenue per available room, aka RevPAR, last year. Groups and events, last year. Public or bank holidays, as well as school holidays. This will allow you to make informed decisions from solid data sets. As well as this, you need to consider influences such as sales resources, online marketing and distribution, refurbishments, and more. You can view the more in-depth article on pricing forecasting in our full blog post. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and to subscribe to our channel for more hot.
Okay, let's watch this again. Watch very carefully.
Revenue management is fundamental to owning and operating a profitable hotel. The most successful hoteliers are those who continually look for ways to improve and streamline their cash flow, gaining an edge over the competition. Revenue management, in a nutshell, is the strategic pricing and distribution tactics you use to sell your inventory to boost your revenue growth. For example, selling to the right guests at the right time for the right price. This isn't just limited to your rooms, however. Other amenities such as food and drinks come into the picture. One aspect of revenue management is pricing strategies. These will help set you up for success in the future. 3 common pricing strategies are dynamic pricing, which involves changing your room rates daily based on real-time market data, such as competitor prices, supply, and demand. Open pricing, where you set your prices at different levels depending on their target markets. For example, a luxury hotel may drop their prices in the off-season for guests who may not be able to afford their accommodation normally. Length of stay pricing, when guests are obligated to stay a minimum number of days. This is usually used when demand outweighs supply. Bear in mind, no pricing strategy is going to be perfect for any hotel. Since every hotel is different, each pricing strategy you use will have varied strengths and weaknesses. A pricing strategy that works well for large-scale luxury chains may not work as well for a smaller boutique hotel. If you'd like to see other pricing strategies you can use, as well as download our free revenue management ebook, check out our full blog post linked below. When you're producing your pricing forecast, take into account factors from last year as well as the upcoming year. Look at the following for things to track. Revenue per available room, aka RevPAR, last year. Groups and events, last year. Public or bank holidays, as well as school holidays. This will allow you to make informed decisions from solid data sets. As well as this, you need to consider influences such as sales resources, online marketing and distribution, refurbishments, and more. You can view the more in-depth article on pricing forecasting in our full blog post. If you enjoyed this video,
Right, now I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about revenue management, right? Now, if you look at your study pack, right? You look at the study, evaluate the revenue management techniques in service marketing. Right now, that is what I was talking about. So we spoke about evaluate the main approaches to pricing of services. Done. Recognize the usability of pricing approaches in service marketing perspective. Done. Now I'm talking about evaluating revenue management techniques in service marketing. Now, what is this revenue? ඔයාගේ income එක. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔයාගේ revenue එක. Right now, let's give a description. අපි බලමු. Just give me a minute. See, this is a very interesting thing. Even I get updated in certain things. Now I'll show you another video. Wait.
තද ඉරු කිරමින් පවා ඔබේ සමීප පැහැරකින Vaseline SPF 30.
Talking glossary of financial terms and events. Our word of the day is revenue. Revenue is the income generated. Glossary of
Okay, let's go back. Watch this video.
Financial terms and events. Our word of the day is revenue. Revenue is the income generated from sale of goods or services or any other use of capital or assets associated with the main operations of an organization before any costs or expenses are deducted. Revenue is shown usually as the top item in an income statement from which all charges, costs and expenses are subtracted to arrive at net income. It's also referred to as sales or turnover. In business, revenue or turnover is an income that a company receives from its normal business activities, usually from the sale of goods and services to customers. In many countries and states, revenue is referred to as turnover. Some companies receive revenue from interest, royalties and other fees. Revenue may refer to business income in general, or it may refer to the amount in a monetary unit received during a period of time. In general usage, revenue is income received by an organization in the form of cash or cash equivalents. Sales revenue or revenues is income received from selling goods or services over a period of time. Tax revenue is income that a government receives from taxpayers. In more formal usage, revenue is a calculation or estimation of periodic income based on a particular standard of accounting practice or the rules established by a government or government agency. Two common accounting methods, cash basis accounting and accrual basis accounting, don't use the same process for measuring revenue. Corporations that offer shares for sale to the public are usually required by law to report revenue based on generally accepted accounting principles or international financial reporting standards.
Right. Let's see another video.
Welcome to this video. Today you're going to learn the difference between revenue and income. This is a question that a student had submitted and I'm happy to answer it for you. Of course, I'm Jennifer from jforrestenglish.com and this channel is dedicated to helping you feel confident speaking English in public so you can take your career and your life to the next level. Now, before we go any further, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. Now, let's dive in with this video. So what's the difference between revenue and income? First of all, you only need to know this if you own a business or if you're interested in business topics. Because if you're an individual who works for a company, if you're an employee, you're employed by a company, all you need to be concerned about is income. Revenue does not apply to you, okay? But you might be interested to know about the revenue that your company generates. But an individual does not generate revenue. A company generates revenue. So just keep that in mind. So for an individual, let's say you work for a company and you're just concerned about the money in your pocket as an employee. What is income? Income is how much money you make from all sources. All sources, okay? So what does that mean, all sources? Well, let's say that you are a full-time employee, okay? And let's say you have a salary and you make $75,000 a year. But in addition to your full-time employment, you're also an artist and you like to paint in your spare time. But twice a year, you go to art shows on weekends and you sell your art. You don't consider this a job because you love painting. It's just a hobby of yours, but your paintings are really wonderful and people want to buy them. So you go to these art shows and you sell your paintings twice a year. And from those art shows, you make $20,000 from your art. So your income is not just the money you get from your employer. Your income is all sources of money that you receive. So of course your employer is probably going to be the most important income source, I imagine. But if you have any sort of hobbies that you generate money from, even if you have a garage sale and you make $1,000, technically that's still your income. You sell a bike and you make $100. You would include that in your total income. So your total income is the money you make from all sources. Now, let's go back to the concept of revenue versus income. But remember, this is something that only applies to businesses. Small businesses, large businesses, it doesn't matter. Any type of business. So in a business, revenue is the money generated from all sales. So let's say a company has 5 different products and each of those products generates some money, and then you add all of those together and that company generates $25 million that year. That's the revenue, the money generated from all sales. Now, what's income in a company? Income is the revenue, which we just learned, the revenue minus the expenses. That leaves you with the income. So let's say you generate that $25 million, but to do that, you needed to spend $10 million in advertisement. So your revenue is $25 million, but your income is your revenue minus your expenses, so your income is $15 million. Now, just in case you're wondering, that is also referred to as net profit. That's just a little bonus expression for you. So there you have it. That's the difference between revenue and income. So now it's your turn to practice. Why don't you leave 2 examples in the comments below, one using revenue and one using income.
Right. So now you know the difference between the revenue and the income. Okay, just a little another video just to give you some insights to revenue recognition principles. So let's watch this also.
Welcome to Accounting Stuff. I'm James, and in this video I'm going to explain the revenue recognition principle in 2 minutes. To kick things off, let's define revenue. Revenue is the income earned from the sale of goods or the provision of services. The sale of goods could relate to a baking business selling a cake, and the provision of services could be a car wash, cleaning your car. So now that we've clarified that, what's the revenue recognition principle? The revenue recognition principle states that revenue is recognized when it's earned, not when cash is received. Let me show you what I mean. I want you to imagine 2 scenarios. In the first, a customer orders a cake from a bakery and pays in advance in November. They receive the cake the following month, in December. Under the revenue recognition principle, revenue is recognised when it's earned, not when cash is received. So in this case, the bakery recognises its revenue not in November, but in December, because that's when the revenue was earned. That's when the cake changes hands. In accounting, we call this kind of income deferred revenue, because the payment is made in advance for goods that are to be delivered in the future. In the second scenario, a customer gets their car washed in December. They pay for the service on account with 30-day payment terms, which means they hand over the cash in January. Under the revenue recognition principle, the revenue is recognized in December because that's when the service was provided. That's when the car wash took place. In this case, we call the revenue accrued revenue because the service was provided in advance of the payment. Now, it's important to note that accrued and deferred revenue don't exist under the cash basis of accounting, because under that method, revenue is only recognized once cash changes hands. They only exist in the accruals basis of accounting. The revenue recognition principle and the matching principle are the foundations of the accruals basis. Just in time. If you found this video useful, give it a like, share it, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I put out
There you go. It's a very simple way of explaining it. Okay, let's go for the last video for today.
Hospitality is the relationships between guest and host, or the act or practice of being hospitable. Specifically, this includes the reception and entertainment of guests, visitors, or strangers, resorts, membership clubs, conventions, attractions, special events, and other services for travelers and tourists. What is hospitality management? Hospitality management is the study of the hospitality industry. Hospitality management provides a focus on management of hospitality operations including hotels, restaurants, cruise ships, amusement parks, destination marketing organizations, convention centers, country clubs, and other related industries. As a field of work, hospitality management refers to the management of hotels, restaurants, resorts, and any other institutions that are involved in the hospitality industry as a field of study. Hospitality management refers to the study of the hospitality industry and its management needs. It also relates to the people who opt hospitality sector as a career and pursue their studies in the same.
With Create Studio Pro, you can create amazing 3D character explainers just like Pixar, and you never need to use complex 3D software, lose your mind rigging and designing characters, or have to spend thousands of dollars on expensive freelancer fees. As long as you can point and click, drag and drop, you too can make amazing 3D character videos that boost engagement and drive sales. Not only can you create amazing 3D character videos, with Create Studio Pro you get your very own video studio. So you can create every type of video you need within the most easy-to-use video editor. You can create wildly engaging scroll stoppers, design video ads and mobile stories for social channels, make engaging animated slideshows, and even build hand-sketched doodle videos with loads of different hand styles to choose from. Loaded with powerful animation and editing features, you'll never be limited with what you can create. So stop wasting time and money on complicated tools, expensive agency fees, basic video apps, and start growing your business with pro videos made simple in Create Studio Pro.
Reinvent your hiring with Test Gorilla. We offer you seriously smart screening tests crafted by experts. Here's why our model is so effective. Research shows that combining different skill tests into one assessment is the best way to predict job success for candidates. We save you time by automatically recommending you the most relevant tests based on the job you're hiring for. This makes it incredibly easy for you to build an assessment and then personalize it with your own unique questions.
movements for all purposes. Tourism management. Facets of hospitality industry. There are broadly 5 facets of hospitality industry. 1. Tourism management. Tourism is the temporary, short-term movement of people to destination outside the places where they normally live and work and their activities during the stay at each destination. It includes movements for all purposes. Tourism management is the profession of providing positive and successful experiences for such travelers and for the businesses who cater to them. 2. Hotel management. Hotel management involves combination of various skills like management, marketing, human resource development, financial management, interpersonal skills, dexterity, etc. Hotels are a major employment generator in hospitality industry. Work in the area of hotel management involves ensuring that all operations, including accommodation, food and drink and other hotel services, run smoothly. 3. Event management. Event management is the management of events starting from conception to reporting and evaluation. Event planners execute all details related to a variety of meeting formats including seminars, conferences, trade shows, executive retreats, incentive programs, golf events, and other programs. 4. Convention management. Some industry experts consider conventions to be the fastest growing segment of the tourism industry. Special events and conventions are being recognized as great income generators for a community. A convention planner is responsible for some of the most significant details of a convention, like securing an event location, but also for the smallest logistics, such as printing an event program. Convention management and planning involves coordinating with many different people, maintaining a tight budget and effectively marketing yourself and the event that you are planning. 5. Resort management, a program that prepares individuals to plan, manage, and market comprehensive vacation facilities and services and related products. It includes instructions in hospitality administration, hotel/motel management, restaurant and food services management, facilities planning, leisure studies, recreation administration, marketing, recreation equipment and grounds operations and maintenance, business finance, insurance and taxation, event management and guest services, personnel management, travel and logistics management, safety and health services, professional standards and ethics, and applications to specific vacation types and locations. Since hotel industry plays a major role in the hospitality sector, let us classify the hotels on the basis of some major parameters. On the basis of the service levels, hotels can be classified as A. Budget. A budget hotel is one with limited amenities at a lower average price per night, generally suitable for low-cost travel for backpackers and young people. B. Luxury. Luxury refers to combination of facilities and style and something which one don't normally experience at home. A luxury hotel is a hotel that is upscale and typically costs more than the average accommodation. C. Suite. A suite in a hotel or other public accommodation denotes a class of luxury accommodations, the key feature of which is multiple rooms. Suites offer multiple rooms, with more space and furniture than a standard hotel room. A suite will include a living or sitting room. Kitchen facilities are also added in many suites. On the basis of theme, the hotels can be classified as A. Boutique. Small but exclusive property that caters to the affluent clientele with an exceptional level of service at premium prices. Typically, boutique hotels are furnished in a themed, stylish and aspirational manner. Boutique hotels, also known as design hotels, are often individual and focused on offering their services in a comfortable, intimate, and welcoming setting. B. Heritage. Heritage means that it is related to the history. Heritage hotels are generally some old palaces, mansions, bungalows or some other historical places converted into hotels for guests. C. Ecohotel. Ecohotel is a new concept in hospitality that claims to work for environment protection and preservation. They recycle things, ask customers to reuse. Let us understand the different departments that run the entire hospitality industry. These are the pillars on which the concept of hospitality stands. Housekeeping. Housekeeping is more than just how to use a mop and broom. This department is responsible for cleaning and maintaining hotel premises, which include public area, guest rooms, lobby, swimming pool area, etc. Generally, this department is not visible to the guest. It works for guest satisfaction, working round the clock to keep the environment clean and hygiene. This department works to give pleasant look of the hotel to the guest. Front desk. A front office is the area of a business where clients and employees interact. It is the most important department of the hotel. The main function of this department is to give warm welcome to the guests. This is the first department where guest comes in contact with. It generates the maximum revenue for the hotel as it sells room to the guests. Food and beverage. It is a department which serves food and beverage to the guest in a very attractive and pleasing manner, which creates good impression on the guest. The food and beverage division is responsible for all of the dining rooms, restaurant, bars, the galleys, kitchens, cleanup and provisions. Engineering. This department provides the day-to-day basic utility services, electricity, hot water, air conditioning and other services, and is responsible for repair and maintenance of the equipment, furniture and fixtures in the hotel. Health/sports/recreation. The main purpose and motive of this department is to provide health and recreation to the people. With the increasing need to concentrate on the health issues, many hotels have come up with health gyms, spas, swimming pools, sports areas like billiards, golf, etc. The aim is to provide a healthy environment both to the guests and the employees. Safety/security. The security of guests, employees, personal property and the hotel itself is the foremost concern for the hotel. In the past, most security precautions concentrated on the prevention of theft from guests and the hotel. However, today such violent crimes as murder and rape have become a problem for some hotels. Unfortunately, crime rates in most major cities are rising. Hence today's security department also concentrate on these additional criminal activities too. What is the importance of hospitality industry in human lives? Hospitality affects the customer satisfaction levels. Better the quality of services, more satisfied the customer feels. Hospitality industry has grown vastly in the last few decades, with more private players entering in this sector, indicating the ever-increasing scope for the diverse hospitality services and the employment of different professionals and personnel. Since the employment prospects are varied and extensive, there is rapid career growth with abundant money and freedom in almost every kind of hospitality service. A good hospitality management can also affect a country's image, as it tells the quality of a service of a country. Globally, we need to share best practices for training and retention and make industry-sponsored educational programs more readily available to employees at every organizational level. Hospitality industry captures major tourists and business markets by ensuring that the tourists get physically energized, mentally rejuvenated, culturally enriched, spiritually elevated and ultimately feel lit from within. When a company is looking for a place to relocate or to grow its business, many variables are considered. One such variable is quality of life. Quality of life is measured primarily by three factors: housing costs, education quality and cultural amenities. The hospitality industry underpins those cultural amenities that other businesses find attractive. The hospitality industry plays a significant, supporting role in these business dealings. Companies in the industry help enable others to do business, hence fuels the economic growth.
Right. Why I showed this to you is to tell you that in a hospitality industry where services is mostly used, and that's the structure of a hospitality industry. Hospitality industry එකක් ඇතුලේ structure එක තමයි ඔය මම පෙන්නුවේ. දැන් ඕගොල්ලන්ට පේනවා ඇති කොච්චරක් ඒගොල්ලෝ cost එකක් incur කරනවද කියන එක. ඒතර මේ වීඩියෝ එක දෙපාර තුන් පාර බලලා හොඳට structure කරලා බලන්න department wise add වෙන cost එක කොහොමද කියලා. එතකොට ඒ අනුව තමයි pricing එකක් කරන්නේ service industry එකේ. Right? එතකොට ඒ අනුව තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ හිතන්න ඕනේ how to price a service. Right? එතකොට අපි දැන් මේ learning එකෙන් පස්සේ අපි යනවා අපේ අන්තිම slide එකට. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Right, so that brings to the end of the lecture, and I have a discussion note for you. 2022 November, recently LP gas prices were again raised by the central government of Sri Lanka. Analyze why this happened and prepare your notes for a discussion, right? So this will be on next Thursday. Prepare your notes why this happens. You have 2 assignments, or rather a lot of assignments are given for discussion, and let's see whether we can do it on next Thursday. So that's end of the lecture 9, pricing for a service. All this was covered at the with regards to this 7th ILO, right? And see whether, whether you can take, I'm pretty sure that you have taken a lot of knowledge from this, right? And be ready for this discussion on Thursday. So thank you very much. Have a good morning and have a good weekend.